Well, for thousands of Indian students, getting an admission letter from an American university, it is one of the happiest moments of their lives. It is the beginning of a new journey, a new country, a new education, a new career. And for many families, it represents years of hard work, careful planning, and significant financial investment. So, while students spend months preparing for university life, there is one document that quietly decides how long they can legally stay in the US. Well, that document is the I-94 arrival record. And now, the US government has decided to make one of the biggest changes to the student visa system in decades. Well, for years, most F1 students entered the United States under a system known as Duration of Status, or DS. Under the system, students could remain in the country as long as they maintained their student status and they continued meeting the requirement of their academic program. But that system is definitely changing. Beginning September 15, 2026, the Department of Homeland Security will replace the traditional duration of status system into a fixed period of admission. Instead of receiving an open-ended DS notation on the I-94, many students will now receive a specific expiration date based on the length of their academic program, subjected to the limit outlined in the new rule. Now, you may ask, why does this matter so much? It does, because under the earlier system, universities played a much larger role in helping students maintain their status. Now, students will have to pay much closer attention to the expiry date mentioned on their I-94. Well, if their program takes longer than expected, or if they need additional time for academic reason, simply extending the university paperwork, it may no longer be enough in every case. Depending on their situation, they may also need to apply USCIS for an extension of stay before their authorized period expires. And yes, there is another important change. The post-study grace period has also become shorter under the updated rule. That means students will have less time after completing their program to decide whether they want to leave the US, transfer to another institution, or move to the next stage of their immigration journey. Naturally, this has created anxiety among students and parents. Many are wondering whether this will affect OPT, STEM OPT, or even future H-1B application. Well, the good news is that these programs continue to exist under the updated framework. However, students will now need to plan much more carefully and ensure that their immigration paperwork is completed on time. So, there are no unexpected gaps in their legal status. And yes, there is one more point that current students should remember. If you are already studying in the US before these new rules take effect, the transition work differently for somebody who's entering the country after the implementation date. However, once you travel outside the US and return, the new admission rule may apply depending on your circumstances. Now, what should you do? Start checking your immigration documents regularly. Know the exact expiry date on your I-94. Stay in close contact with your designated school official and never wait until the last few weeks before your status expires to begin the extension process. Because when it comes to immigration, missing even one deadline, it can sometimes create problem that takes months or even years to fix. Well, the biggest lesson from this update, it is quite simple. Getting admission into an American university, it is only the first step for you. Well, maintaining your immigration status has now become just as important as earning your degree.